niggas who be white flag waving. Nigga called to stand on my dog, that ain't gangsta. What's up with these niggas bringing their mama in the street shit? Nah, they ain't peace, bitches beef, bitch, my weed was time.
Damn. Okay. Okay, number 4. Damn. Damn, bruh. Who is texting me this late, bro? It's 1:14 in the morning. Who is texting me, bruh? The hell? How the? What the? How do you know this information, bruh? How? What? Bro, what? He's outside. The fuck you mean you outside? What the hell? Who the fuck is that outside? Who the? Oh fuck no. Who the hell? Where did he go? Where the hell did he go? Hey chat, how y'all doing? It's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a good minute. But look, I got a new job and starting school again, so that's been taking up my time. But I'm starting to get back into my mojo, started making content, or start editing the content that I've been making, right? So I'm not gonna hold up your time, bruh. We got another react video, but it's kind of different. It's more on the spooky / horror side, which low-key, I want to make more of those. And let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see that. Don't want to hold you up, man. Roll the 500. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button and comment down below. And if you haven't yet, go follow the Twitch, because that's where I do most of my content right now. And I don't want y'all to miss out on some bangers, bro. So I hope y'all can enjoy this video. I'm gonna catch you at the end. Alright.
On March 4th, 2022, these were the texts 21-year-old college student Gavin received after getting home from a night out with friends. Hey, is this Gavin? Yes, who's this? It's Alex. Where you at? Send your location. I'm at home. What happened to you?
Okay.
What number is this? I'm using my friend's phone. We're stranded at the bar. Can you call us an Uber to your house? What? Why don't you just do it?
Yeah.
Dude, my app isn't working. Just figure it out. I don't even know what that means. Just send your address.
Whoa.
Gavin was...
That is sketchy, dog. Because imagine, what if somebody stole his phone and is saying, yo, send me your address, or get me an Uber to your address. And yo, that is so weird, ain't it? Oh, nah.
Gavin was out with his friends Alex and Omar.
You get what I'm trying to...
They were last with each other at a bar in Dallas called Parliament. The trio was getting ready to wrap up the night, but Alex stayed behind when he saw other friends at the bar.
Yeah.
So Gavin and Omar went home, and about an hour passed with no contact between the three.
Okay.
That was when Gavin received the text from the random number. And as you see, they claimed to be Alex using his friend's phone. Alex had lost his phone, and he was using his friend's phone, who Gavin apparently had never met before. He was asking Gavin to call him an Uber, since according to him, it wasn't working on his phone.
Uber to your house.
Gavin refuses, basically noting how silly that sounds, and tells him to call his own. The conversation picks up here, where Alex agrees to apparently call his own Uber and asks for Gavin's address. Gavin stated that this was around the time he was becoming slightly suspicious,
Yeah.
but he still gave his address, however not without making a comment about how he should memorize his address by now. He says he cut him some...
Nah, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. That's a no, cause like hell no, bro. What the fuck? Just send your address, bro. That's a red flag, dog. Hell nah.
some slack due to the fact that he was drinking. Gavin asked him why he was using his friend's cell phone, to which he got a response that Alex lost his phone. He then lets them know that they're on their way, and when Gavin asks Alex if he knew his friend, he responds, "Nah, he's cool though." 10 minutes later, the number sends a text that truly starts to make the conversation suspicious. "Can we just come in through the front door when we get there?" As if asking Gavin to leave the door unlocked. It was at this moment that he started to question everything about the interaction, from the first text being, "Hey, is this Gavin?"
the cops,
to the
bro.
asking Gavin to
Call
call
the
them an
cops
Uber,
right now,
to
bro.
now the leaving the door unlocked. He tried to call the number,
Get
but
your
it rang and went to
stick
voicemail,
ready and call the cops.
and tried to text and call Alex's number repeatedly, but it would just keep going to voicemail, and the text would just say
Call the cops.
delivered. Gavin stopped answering this foreign number now, and called his friend Omar to ask him if he'd heard anything from Alex.
Call the cops.
To which Omar said he had not.
Call the cops.
After reading Omar all of the texts, Omar agreed something was off. They looked to call the bar Parliament, but there was no number listed
Why
online
haven't
to
you
call.
still haven't called the cops?
Around this time, the number texted Gavin again, saying, "We're here, open the door."
Hell no.
Gavin went to his door and looked through the peephole of the door. There was no one in immediate view though, which maybe at first would have implied it was all a prank. But when there was a knock at the door, Gavin checked the peephole again. There was still no one on the other side. Reality of the situation was
they're
setting
waiting
in
on the
now
side,
for
like,
Gavin,
they're waiting on
as
the
this was
side,
no longer
and
just
talking to
text
go like
on
this.
screen. Someone was actually on the other side of his door. So he asks, "Who is this?"
Why
Straight
did
to
you
the
smoke?
point.
Why did
They
you stop?
reply with simply, "LOL." Gavin asks again, "Who is this?" And they reply, "Open the door." So instead of answering again, Gavin calls the police.
Thank you.
The knocking persists for a few minutes, in long intervals. Then it stops for good when the person or people on the other end realize Gavin was onto them. Gavin went on to DM one of Alex's friends, who he
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I'd have been called the cops as soon as this nigga told me to just send address. And on top of that, I wouldn't even have send my address. I wouldn't have even send my address. Go home. Why you going to my house? Just go home. Why you coming to my crib? Like, you're drunk. I don't want you to sleep over. Go home. Like, right? Make it to your front door, my nigga. Nah, bro.
he was hanging out with after he and Omar left. And almost instantly, the friend DM'd him back explaining that he, Alex, and their other friend were jumped by a big group of men in the street. They were all badly injured and went to the hospital. Alex's phone had been stolen, while one of his friend's wallets and phone was stolen. Alex not having a password on his phone meant all of his info and conversations were accessible. Alex's friend helped him in getting his phone locked. The police report that Gavin would get from the police who came to his house would later help Alex in getting his service provider to replace his stolen phone for him. The lack of a password on the phone meant the thieves were able to gain information such as Alex and
Literally
Gavin's
everything.
conversation, where they would
Everything.
deduce that Gavin was home alone and an easy target. So if Gavin didn't catch on to the suspicious situation, he may have been opening his door to 2 or more people ready to attack him too and rob his house.
That's what I'm
The phone number that
saying.
was being used to text Gavin turned out to be another stolen phone, therefore didn't help in finding the thief.
Wow.
The case regarding finding the thieves and assaulters remains open.
Wow, bruh. That just goes to show, be careful, bruh. Just be careful. Like, in that situation, I don't know, what can you really do for real? Like, in that situation, what can you do? As in, like, your friends got jumped, so you won't know about this information. But you see your friends is texting you weird. Like the conversation is not how it's supposed to be. Or like the conversation that you have with this person is not it don't feel familiar. It feels weird.
These texts were received by an anonymous viewer from his dad's ex-girlfriend, who will be named Kathy for the purpose of this recounting. The viewer will be called Rob. The reason Rob's dad ended things with Kathy was because of her increasingly erratic and delusional tendencies. Her mental health was declining for unknown reasons.
Okay.
Rob's dad was dating Kathy for about half a year, and Rob's grandparents both passed away during that time.
R.I.P.
Rob's dad wasn't very open at first about how Kathy would start acting all paranoid about his son's dead grandparents, about how she believed they placed a curse on her. Rob's dad cut ties with Kathy when the delusions got too ridiculous. Rob was left in the dark for the longest time about Kathy's delusions though, presumably out of embarrassment for having spent so much time with a supposed nutjob. It wasn't long after his father's breakup with Kathy that Rob would receive texts from her himself. When her attempts at reaching his father no longer worked, she clearly went to him instead. Kathy texted Rob, "Hello, sweetie, I need your help." Rob replied with, "What? What's up?" Your father's parents put a curse on me. I need you to tell me the cemetery and plot number they were buried at.
Okay. Okay. Right there, she's not receiving no more messages. What? What you gonna, in my mind, as soon as I seen, I need to send me the plot number and where there was buried at. What are you gonna do with that information? Are you gonna dig up their bodies? And do what with them? You feel me? Like, hell no.
What do you mean they put a curse on you? I keep hearing their voices and having bad premonitions. I know it sounds crazy, but I need it to stop. Of course, being told by somebody that they were hearing your dead grandparents' voices would be a clear indication that the person is completely unhinged. So Rob went to show his dad the texts. His dad laughed and told him to just ignore her. Rob says that instead of blocking her, though, he just let her continue to text him to see how crazy her text would get.
Okay.
She followed up later that night.
I'll do the same shit
I need
too.
to exhume their grave. If you help me out, I will sleep with you.
What the fuck?
I know you've always checked me out whenever I was in your dad's house.
What the fuck?
Rob still didn't answer, and the next day, her text got a little more graphic. Rob showed these texts to his dad, and this time his dad was not amused. He called Kathy and screamed that he would be getting a restraining order if she didn't stop. When he hung up, she...
Even he didn't read it. How is Mr. Nightmare not gonna read this? I'll come sit on your right now if you help me. What the fuck?
He kept trying to call until he ended up blocking her number. That same night, while Rob's dad was asleep, Rob was still in his den watching a show when he heard the doorknob jiggling. He went to look through the glass atop the door and saw Kathy fiddling with a knife in the key slot of the doorknob.
Hell no.
She looked up at him and through the glass and started pleading with him to let her in.
No.
Rob called for his dad, and she started to scream no. When his dad came to the door, he screamed at her and then went to call the cops. Kathy would scream back constant obscenities and threats, waving her knife in the air.
What the
She
fuck?
didn't leave, and police arrived to her still at the door with knife in hand.
What the fuck?
Based on her coming to their house with a weapon and not leaving when asked, she was arrested, and Rob's dad filed for a restraining order against her. Clearly, Kathy was more than just delusional and was starting to suffer from some sort of mental illness, such as paranoid disorder. This does not mean she wasn't a danger to others, though, as well as herself, evident by the knife she brought to their house and attempting to break into their house. Luckily, no one was hurt.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Hell no.
An 18-year-old girl named Leanne,
I don't even know
living
what I
in
would do in
Hoboken,
that
New
situation.
Jersey,
I'll just call
was
the
at
cops.
a local bar with her friend on a Saturday. That's when she got a notification that someone was trying to send her a message on Instagram. Usually people disregard these message requests, as they're messages from people you don't follow back on Instagram.
Hell yeah.
In a girl's shoes, those message requests are 9 times out of 10 men sending them flirtatious and often creepy messages. A lot of people don't ever check these messages, but sometimes when you get that notification that someone sent you a message request, curiosity gets the better of you. In this case, Leanna opened the DM, and it was from some random account with no profile picture and no followers, asking her if she was at McSwiggin's, a local bar in Hoboken. Right away, this is cause for alarm, of course, because this would be coming from someone who knew where she was at that exact moment. Someone intentionally using a fake Instagram account. Leanna follows with, "Yes, who's this? You look good in that pink top. Aren't you 18 though? Shouldn't be in a bar. I won't tell anyone though.
You see?
Who is this?
You see?
The guy who thinks you're really attractive."
Nah.
At this point, Leanna assumes it's a prank by someone she knows and asks who's messing with her. The person replies it's neither of the names she just mentioned. Upon Leanna asking for a selfie, the person replies, "Can't." The girls look around the bar for anybody that could be alone, mainly an older, predatory-looking man. They saw a few men that appeared to be alone sitting at the bar. None of them were eyeing the girls, though. That's when she says, "Okay, bye, we're leaving." Moderately uncomfortable, the two girls leave the crowded bar and start walking. They go to another bar nearby, which is far less crowded than the first. They sit at the bar and order a few drinks, looking for young guys to talk to. When Leanna's phone vibrates again, and she gets another creepy message from the person. It said, "This is my favorite bar, good choice." Leanna shows her friend the message, and then the two start looking around the bar for someone who could be sending the messages.
Whoa, that is... Alright, so the reason why I say it's kind of unsafe is like leaving the bar and like walking. It's mad unsafe to just be walking at nighttime in general, bro. Like, if you're not in a vehicle, the factor of you being in danger, like, it's this high, bro. Like, you in a car, right here, right? You walking by yourself or with somebody else at nighttime, it goes up, bro. It goes up.
Messages. And as if he was looking to be found out, Leanna saw a man sitting on the bar stool closest to the door, looking at her with a blank, wide-eyed expression. She says the best way she could describe his appearance was the killer from the movie The Lovely Bones, mainly because of his glasses, hair, and mustache.
What the fuck?
They made extended eye contact, to the point that it seemed the man was outwardly trying to be creepy, making it obvious who he was. The girls asked the bartender for help. They showed him the DM she was getting and then pointed at the man, who, in response to being pointed at, started looking around the room in any direction but towards the girls. The bartender went over and told the guy in a loud, commanding voice to leave the bar without question, threatening to kick his ass if he didn't leave the girls alone.
Bartender.
The man left the establishment, surely feeling at least some sense of embarrassment, as anyone would. Leanna and her friends stayed at the bar for about half an hour, only to avoid running into the man outside.
Oh, hell no.
Leanna says their mood to stay out was gone after that creepy encounter, and they just wanted to know who that was, or how he knew Leanna and where she was at that moment.
He's a stalker.
When the girls left, they began walking home. They were on 2nd Street, a quiet one-way road, especially at the hour they were walking.
Bro.
They were being mindful of their surroundings, making sure they weren't being followed.
Yeah, okay.
Even
good
when
job.
you think you're aware of your surroundings, the
Somebody's still
unexpected
watching
can always
you.
happen.
Yup.
Leanna and her friend heard running footsteps from behind them out of the blue, and there was no time to react before the man grabs Leanna with one arm around her face and mouth and the other around her waist. He picked her up as she tried to scream and fight, and of course her friend did the screaming for her, and continued to hit at the man. The commotion caught the attention of people from around the corner, and a few people came to the scene. The man released his grip from the girl and walked away quickly. Nobody went after the man. The girls called the police there on the spot. Leanna showed the police the DMs, and 2 witnesses backed up their story as well. A police report was made and a case was opened to find the man in question. Leanna would speak to detectives at her home a few days later, who gathered all the information she could give. They would later use the surveillance footage from the 2 bars, but the police have not yet been able to match the man seen in the footage to anybody. As a precaution, she still has her Instagram disabled to this day. If someone is dedicated enough, they can find someone through their Instagram by keeping track of what places they go to in their pictures, what school they go to, and who they associate with. That's why it often is a good idea to keep your Instagram private.
Yeah, he's not lying, bro. He's not lying, bruh. What? Bro, this person has been watching you. And if you have, like, what if he was playing the short game right here? What if he was playing the long game where he wanted to wait until you get home? Now he knows where you live. And now that can be way worse, bro. Because now he knows where you live. Damn. I don't know how I would react to any of these situations. I'm not gonna lie to you. But hey, chat, I appreciate y'all for staying through, watching this video. If you haven't yet, go ahead and like the video. It really shows that you support me. And you want to see more of my content. Don't forget to subscribe down there. Go follow the Twitch. Love y'all guys. Stay safe. God bless you. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. What the heck? I heard glass breaking. Where did that come from? The kitchen window straight.
God, what the fuck, all these?